Foldables are expensive, and if you want to experience one, you have to pay a lot of money for it. But what if I told you you can buy a foldable phone for the price of a flip? Enter the Tecno Phantom V Fold. I must say it's brave of Tecno to enter this space considering the big wigs that are out there, but at least their business strategy is on point. Basically what they're doing is undercutting the competition on price and therefore grabbing attention. And I can say this with a fair bit of confidence. The moment I tweeted out about the phone's India launch, quite a few folks were intrigued. Some called me, some texted me and asked me where they can buy the phone and when they can buy the phone. But is the Tecno Phantom V Fold worth the asking price, very low asking price of rupees 88,888? That's what we're going to find out in this video. If you're here for the very first time, I'm Ershad. You're watching Trakin English. Let's unfold. Tecno's hardware engineers have tried really hard to ensure that the phone looks and feels premium. The smart move is that they've actually used recycled plastic for the backing material of the phone. The texture is nice and it feels pretty solid too. Now, why do I call this smart? Because they can actually use the sustainability angle for when they're marketing the phone. And I do like the design of the circular camera module as well, which has got a ring inside too. It's kind of unique. The hinge, Tecno claims, is made of aircraft grade aluminium, and that makes it structurally rigid. And this hinge is also their own proprietary design as well. Now, I'm not going into the depth of the hinge design, but what they've managed to do for the end consumer, that is you and me, is that reduce the size of the crease. Right next to a Galaxy Z Fold 4, the crease on the Tecno is actually far less visible. Talking about the Galaxy Z Fold 4, it's a great foldable phone, and if you're considering buying one, why don't you do that from the product buying link in the description below? You can probably check out YouTube's whole shopping mechanism as well and let us know what you guys think. And there is one problem with the hinge, and that is you get only two states of operation, which is the closed state and of course the open state. Unlike Samsung, where you have a flex mode where it stands at angles, this one doesn't. It sort of topples. That said, I do like the fact that Tecno acknowledges this problem and bundles a kickstand case in the box, which makes it stand vertically and horizontally as well. If you've come this far and if you're liking what you see, it'd be great if you could give us your support and hit the subscribe button maybe. When you talk about the hinge opening and closing mechanism, we've had it for about a week and it feels fairly sturdy, and Tecno also claims that it will last 2 lakh folds, which means about 4 to 5 years of regular usage and opening and closing the phone like this. We'll only have to wait and watch to see if that actually holds up. By the way, the phone doesn't have any sort of IP rating, which is something that you have to keep in mind. So you will have to use this carefully and not around any water body. But one thing that Tecno gets right are the displays on the phone. The outer display is a proper, usable 21:9 aspect ratio, 6.42 inch Full HD Plus AMOLED panel with 120 Hz of refresh rate. And the inner tablet display is also very similar in specs. It's a larger 7.85 inch display, but with higher 2K resolution, but you also get the same 120 Hz refresh rate and AMOLED technology as well. And the best part is their LTPO panels, which means that they can refresh from anywhere between 10 Hz to 120 Hz, is what we noticed in our testing. And you get HDR10 Plus support as well. We noticed that HDR10 Plus is available on YouTube, but not on Netflix. Maybe the support will come later, with an update. Honestly, the display experience is very good on the Tecno Phantom V Fold, because that is the most important thing for a foldable phone, if you ask me, and Tecno gets that absolutely right. Now, while the display experience is great, to make the multimedia experience even better, Tecno offers proper dual stereo speakers. You can see them over here, and when you open them up in this landscape orientation, they look like this. And the best part is these stereo speakers are tuned well, they're pretty loud. Why don't you take a listen for yourself and let me know what you guys think. So what about the chip, Ershad, you ask? Well, you get the Dimensity 9000 Plus chip. It's a very powerful chip. It's not exactly top of the line, but fairly powerful nonetheless. It is so powerful that you can actually run PUBG New State at 90 FPS and Call of Duty Mobile at 120 FPS, of course, in performance mode. And there's a lot of grunt in it to push beyond the 1 million mark in Antutu as well. But what's more important is that in daily usage, when you're using the phone's outer display for, scrolling through your Twitter feed, or when you open up the inner display to actually read a book or send out an email, it all functions very smoothly. It's a slick and fast experience, something that I genuinely didn't expect from Tecno because my expectations were low. This is good performance Tecno. Which then brings me to the software experience on the phone. You get a version of iOS 13 for Fold based on Android 13. The kind of wallpapers that you get with the phone, it does make the phone look very good when it seamlessly transitions from the outer display to the inner display. And apart from that, the app layout, the software layout, all of that changes according to the orientation of the phone and how you're using it. All of that happens seamlessly, no problem. And it can enlarge the folder size. You've got a dock which has recent open apps as well. It's all very well done. You can put apps in split screen, and regular apps also run in parallel mode where you can open up the emails on one side and read them on the other side. So features wise, I would say that Tecno's done a fairly good job with the software. But what's not good is the fact that it bundles a lot of first party apps. And these are apps that you generally might not have a need for, and it sort of breaks away from that premium experience that you expect from a foldable phone. But still, with respect to the features available, I'm happy. Also, I really don't know how long Tecno will support the phone. Considering it's a flagship, it should support it with OS updates for at least 2 to 3 years, 3 years minimum, but we'll have to wait and watch. Now, to run all of this, you get a large 5000 mAh battery inside. So the battery life has been very good, especially with the tuning of the 9000 plus chip. It's done very well. There's a balanced mode which is on by default. You can easily expect over a day's worth of usage with about 18% left at the end of the day. Also, you get a 45-watt charger which you get within the box, and it can charge your phone from 0 to 100 in 55 minutes, which is fairly okay. I don't expect faster charging. This is good enough. And Tecno makes no compromise on 5G support. You get support for 15 5G bands, works really well on Airtel and Jio. No worries there. Alright, let's talk about the cameras on the phone. There are 3 cameras on the rear, 1 on the outer display, 1 on the inner display. Man, I just felt like a flight attendant talking about emergency exits right now. But after using these cameras with good specs, no doubt, at least on paper it's very good, I still feel that this is where you have to make the compromise if you want to pay less for a foldable. The cameras are of course not the best in the market, they're serviceable, and sometimes you can get really good pictures out of it too. Of course, you can get better camera phones at this price compared to a Tecno Phantom V Fold. But can your camera phone fold? No, it can't. I do like what the Tecno Phantom V Fold is in essence, and I like the direction that the brand has taken with it. Like I mentioned, it's a brave and a smart move, one that genuinely might work in India because it does get people curious. But the question remains, would you buy a Tecno foldable phone over an Apple candy bar or a Samsung candy bar or a OnePlus candy bar phone? And how much do you really care about a foldable form factor to want it really badly over an entrenched big player? This I'm really curious about because I can't make assumptions, and I really want the audience or the end user or the buyer to tell me. But as a product, my evaluation is this is a good attempt. Alright, that's it from me. I hope you guys liked the video. I'll see you guys in the next one, and let's keep talking. Until then, keep tracking and stay safe.